Chan, produced by Joe Montana and Ronnie Lott of the San Francisco
Share screen.
49ers.
Share screen. Share screen.
Each episode essentially follows Round Uncle Pat for help, played by Pat Morita from the Karate Kid movies. He then takes us to the land of Hi-Ya, where Kangarati and his friends live. Basic episodes introduce and currently four adventures. The Puzzle Place. The Puzzle Place is a series created by PBS station KCET in Los Angeles and Lansing. It ran for 75 episodes from January 1995 to December 1998, with reruns lasting until March 2000. The series was about a group of puppet children who would gather at the puzzle place. Each episode covered an array of topics, such as racism, sexism, and death. As of October 2025, 54 episodes have been found in full. My Bedbugs. My Bedbugs is a series created by Alex Green and Carol Sweeney that aired on some PBS stations from March 2004 to March 2005. It was about three characters.
Dweeb say what?
They look like cheese. They smell like cheese. They kind of look like little slices of cheese. But if you've ever stared at a Cheez-It mid-snack and wondered what's actually inside that tiny orange square, you're not alone. Which is why today we're cracking open one of America's most iconic crackers to answer the question, is there actually cheese in Cheez-Its? But before we get started, be sure to subscribe to the Weird History Food channel. After that, please leave a comment and let us know what other snack foods you would like to hear about. Okay, let's get cheesy. Let's start with the basics. A Cheez-It is a baked cheese cracker. Yellow-orange, thin, rigid, blistered from baking, and punctured with a tiny hole designed to prevent puffing. The kind of design choice you only notice if it's missing. And while you may assume Cheez-Its are square, fan measurements have revealed they're actually very slightly rectangular. We're talking fractions of a millimeter. But still, once you notice, you can't unnotice. Cheez-Its also boast an impressive shelf life, roughly 11 months, which is notable for something that insists on being cheese-forward. After all, Cheez Whiz, everyone's favorite pasteurized cheese product and the most processed food, only has a shelf life of 7 months. Cheez-Its were created in 1921 by the Green and Green Company in Dayton, Ohio. The original product wasn't called Cheez-Its, though. It was marketed as a baked rarebit. Rarebit, if you're unfamiliar, is essentially a British cheese sauce served on toast, which tells you a lot about the early 20th century optimism surrounding cheese. The snack was renamed Cheez-Its shortly after production began, leaning hard into phonetic spelling and breezy modernity, a branding move that signaled this was not your grandmother's cheese toast. The company was acquired by Kellogg's in 1932, folding Cheez-Its into the rapidly evolving landscape of mass-produced American snacks. And from the jump, Cheez-Its distinguished themselves from crackers and from cheese snacks. They weren't crackers with cheese flavoring. They were crackers made from cheese. Or at least that's what the branding wanted consumers to believe. Cheez-Its went on sale nationally in the 1920s, expanding steadily as Kellogg's distribution infrastructure grew. They weren't an overnight sensation, but they were consistent, showing up in pantries, lunchboxes, and eventually office vending machines, where they'd outlive entire HR departments. By the mid-20th century, Cheez-Its had settled into a comfortable identity. Not flashy, not trendy, but reliable to the point of invisibility. They weren't a snack you discovered so much as one that had always been there, quietly occupying the pantry while other foods cycled through their weird phases. That kind of longevity became an asset decades later, when the snack aisle turned into a chaos lab of extreme flavors, limited editions, and foods that seemed designed entirely for one Instagram post. As nostalgia became marketable, Cheez-Its were suddenly cool again.
How does Cheez-It do it? I know.
Not because they'd changed, but because everything else had. The brand leaned into that confidence by giving the crackers personalities of their own. Over the years, Cheez-Its ran commercials featuring hyper-judgmental crackers critiquing human behavior.
What are you writing, by the way?
Absurdist humor, and the idea that Cheez-Its themselves had opinions. mostly about how you weren't eating enough of them. The brand also quietly became a sports sponsorship machine. The Cheez-It Bowl and its predecessor versions, previously known as the Florida Citrus Bowl, cemented the snack's name into college football culture. And if you're wondering why a cheese cracker sponsors bowl games, the answer is simple. Brand visibility during events where people eat an unconscionable amount of snacks. So, to answer the question directly, yes, Cheez-Its do contain real cheese. Specifically, they're made with real cheddar cheese, listed right up front among the ingredients. That cheddar is blended into a dough made from enriched flour, vegetable oils, salt, and flavoring agents, then baked until dry and crisp. This isn't a situation where cheese shows up at the end in powder form, like a garnish. The cheese is structural. It's doing real work. That said, real cheese doesn't always mean what people think it means. In the U.S., food labeling laws allow cheese to be used in several processed forms and still qualify as real cheese. It can be pasteurized, dehydrated, concentrated, or blended with emulsifying salts and still count, because chemically and nutritionally, it is cheese. It started as milk, it just didn't end its life on a charcuterie board. This is where consumer confusion tends to kick in. Over the past few decades, we've been trained to treat any cheese that comes in a non-artisanal context as suspicious. How
You, just you, building your app on Base 44.
Some type of nature wake up. I don't know what the hell it is.
powdered cheese, fake, shelf-stable cheese, questionable, cheese that doesn't squeak, probably a government psyop. But in reality, a lot of these forms exist because cheese is famously temperamental. It melts at the wrong time, weeps oil, absorbs moisture, and turns hostile if left alone too long. If you want cheese to survive a baking process and sit on a store shelf for nearly a year, you have to make some compromises. Cheddar, it turns out, is unusually good at this job. It has a relatively low moisture content, a sturdy protein structure, and a flavor profile that holds up when heated and dry. Mozzarella would collapse into rubbery sadness. Brie would stage an immediate revolt. Cheddar shows up, clocks in, and does the work. That's why Cheez-Its don't rely on one-note cheese powder the way some snacks do. The flavor you taste isn't just salt and seasoning. It's the result of actual dairy proteins undergoing browning reactions in the oven. A toasted nutty quality? That's cheese chemistry, not branding. Of course, the cheese isn't acting alone. Oils, salts, and natural and artificial flavors are there to stabilize things, boost aroma, and make sure every bite tastes the same, whether you open the box today or 6 months from now. That consistency is the whole promise. Cheez-Its aren't selling romance, they're selling reliability. Nutritionally, Cheez-Its assume you're an adult who's read a nutrition label before. The serving lands at around 150 calories, with about 8 grams of fat and enough sodium to make a salt lick feel inadequate. They're not pretending to be health food, which is honestly refreshing in a snack landscape clogged with buzzwords like ancient grains, mindful, and whatever clean label is supposed to mean this week. Flavor-wise, Cheez-Its have gone extremely wide. Beyond the original, there are extra toasty, white cheddar, cheddar jack, pepper jack, hot and spicy, and buffalo wing. They've been snapped, puffed, and even pumpkin spiced. With so many seasonal releases and experimental flavors, that it definitely seems like someone in R&D lost a bet. Some flavors have disappeared quietly. Wasabi Cheez-Its, anyone? A bold but brief flirtation with early 2000s wasabi everything energy that vanished without explanation. Others felt intentionally reckless. Pumpkin spice Cheez-Its arrived fully aware they'd be mocked, daring the internet to do its worst. Meanwhile, extra toasty Cheez-Its became an accidental cult phenomenon. Reportedly born from overbaked batches people loved so much they started hunting for the darkest crackers in the box. When the brand finally embraced it, shortages followed. Resale prices popped up online, and a previously calm snack fandom learned what obsession felt like. Despite all that experimentation, the hierarchy remains stubbornly consistent. The most popular flavor is still the original, followed closely by extra toasty and white cheddar, proving once again that Americans crave stability with just enough madness to keep things interesting. One reason Cheez-Its inspire such loyalty is texture. And that crunch is engineered. Unlike many cheese-flavored snacks, Cheez-Its aren't dusted with flavor after frying. The cheese starts in the dough itself. Real cheddar is blended into a stiff, dense mixture, designed to survive high heat without melting into an oily blur. Too much cheese and the cracker collapses. Too little and there's no point. The dough is rolled extremely thin and stamped into nearly square shapes. The iconic center hole allows steam to escape during baking, preventing puffing and structural failure. Without it, Cheez-Its would balloon and soften. They're baked, not fried, at temperatures that trigger browning reactions between proteins and sugars. That's where the blistered surface comes from. Those bubbles aren't flaws, they're flavor nodes. As they bake, volatile aroma compounds release a nutty, buttery cheese scent that primes your brain before you ever bite. After baking, the crackers are cooled meticulously to eliminate residual moisture, helping lock in that famously long shelf life. The result is a snack that crunches loudly, breaks cleanly, and doesn't politely disappear. Cheez-Its announce themselves structurally and emotionally. Cheez-Its are now produced by Kellanova, the spin-off company formed after Kellogg's corporate restructuring. While exact annual sales numbers aren't publicly itemized, Cheez-Its are widely considered one of the company's flagship brands, generating hundreds of millions of dollars annually and selling millions of boxes per year. Success, of course, invites scrutiny. In the early 2020s, Cheez-Its faced a whole grain labeling lawsuit, alleging that marketing implied a level of whole grain content disproportional to the actual ingredient breakdown. The case moved through the courts and became part of a broader reckoning with how food companies use health-adjacent language. Then there was the extra toasty controversy.
Yeah.
A phrase that feels dramatic but is technically accurate. Fans accused the company of intentionally underproducing
We're a
extra
fan of
toasty
Cheez-Its.
to drive demand, while others claimed the flavor profile had subtly changed. Whether it was marketing strategy or production issues, the discourse reached the point where journalists were asking executives about cracker browning philosophy. Today, Cheez-Its continues to evolve. New flavors roll out regularly, spin-off products pop up in snack aisles, and despite changing food trends, Cheez-Its remains stubbornly what they've always been, a cheese-forward baked snack that refuses to apologize. So, is there actually cheese in Cheez-Its? Yes, real cheddar baked into a cracker that's been quietly perfecting its formula for over a century. They're not healthy food. They're not pretending to be. They're just the result of early 20th century cheese optimism, industrial baking, and branding so confident it spelled cheese wrong and never looked back. And honestly, that might be why they've lasted. So what do you think? Are Cheez-Its a triumph of honest snack engineering, or just cheese cosplay done very well? Let us know in the comments below. And while you're at it, check out some of these other videos from Weird History Food.
Did you know that?
Alright, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to push the notification bell when I post a video. And let me remove this from the screen. And if you like this food review, food history into Cheez-Its, don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more retro content. And let me know in the comments. Okay, bye. Oh, sorry, Julie Moon. Okay, bye-bye. I'm sorry for everything, Julie Moon. You are my favorite. I'm not your friend, Julie Moon. I'm not. Okay? Bye. If you like my history video, don't forget to like it. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Bye-bye.